So this one is actually a bit of a hybrid, I guess you could say. So this blade is our 1796 British Light Cavalry blade, sabre. We absolutely love it. Obviously one of the most iconic and most simplistically beautiful blades around. We've actually at the moment just got this on one of our shamsha handles just to see what it looked like. It was quite interesting because it looks quite a lot like a carabella, which is a kind of Polish sabre with a slightly different hook handle, but definitely feels like a cavalry sabre. So if you compare that to the shamsha blade, okay, you can see there much broader flares at the tip. Okay, it's one of the key factors, and in general, it's a little bit longer as well. Now, in terms of how that feels, it's a lot more top heavy. The point of balance seems a lot further up, which feels like a cavalry sabre. If you're swinging a sword from a horse, the force of the horse and your arm is going to do most of the work. It doesn't need to be precise and responsive, and you're very rarely going to be doing heavy thrust with it. So obviously you can see the point is definitely designed for slashing. You could thrust with it, but that's not the focus. The focus is making an excellent deep cutting point there, centre of percussion, approximately there. That's going to do a great job. So it will feel a little bit heavier in the hand because that's what it's designed for. Percussive force and cutting power rather than agility and mobility. Now this one here is our Polish Hussar sabre. So we've got a Polish handguard, relatively common kind of handle shape for Polish guards. You can see the backstrap continues, doesn't attach to the guard. That's also very common in Polish. Quite similar, you can see the historical influence of the Kilij or the Shamshir in the design of the guard there, with the lance or langets. Now at the front, we haven't got anything placed there at the moment, and that's simply because it's modular. So you can have a knuckle bow, you can have just a plain cross guard if you don't want the knuckle bow, and we're also giving you the option to have a thumb ring. So actually a lot of Polish sabre will have a thumb ring there, particularly the earlier ones, and that encourages a much stronger, nearly talwar-like grip. And the thumb ring obviously gives you a measure of control with the thumb and the thumb muscles where you can provide pulling and pushing cutting power with very small motions of the wrist. Now I've gone for a very fancy design, you could say, with this one. There's a Polish book, and I'm probably going to stuff the pronunciation, but Szabla Świata, that's a guess, it sounds more Italian, which is an excellent reference book. If you can find it, buy it. I haven't seen very many around. It's all in Polish, but Google Translate can help you out, and it's just got an excellent record and catalogue of single-edged curved swords from all around East Europe and around the world. And there's some gorgeous designs in there, so we basically picked our favourite elements from our favourite ones that we found, particularly these 4 narrow fullers at the base of the blade. We've left a spot here for decoration and emblems that we can put in later. And then from here on, you can see you've got one more narrow fuller, one lovely wide fuller, and the blade comes in. And also we do have a yeoman. So one key factor of Polish sabre is there are a lot of manoeuvres that use the false edge and the yeoman for cutting. So it wouldn't make much sense to have a Polish sabre without a functional yeoman. A lot of LARPs do actually require that you hit with what's defined as a striking surface or the edge of the blade. So obviously with the 1796 blade, using a Polish false edge cut isn't going to work. It's not a sharp edge. Whereas the yeoman here will be effective. And just another little side note on this one is you've got this part of the blade is actually, you can see, flat. Now that is actually quite common historically to not sharpen the base of your blade, especially if you're blocking with it, intend to be blocking with it. So Toledo steel blades, famously, rectangular cross section for the bottom third of the blade. Common in some Polish, but also there are a lot of Polish manoeuvres that also use a strong forte block or parry as part of the same cutting motion. So you do actually see that in quite a few of the examples in the Polish book.